This is a retired United States postmaster, Mark Kennedy. During the Vietnam War, he was a young soldier who experienced the inhumanity of war and the humanity of his enemy. This is the story of a letter he still carries. The Vietnam War was well underway when Kennedy enlisted in the United States Marines in 1966.
Vietnam was starting up, and I was the oldest of 6 kids, and my parents couldn't afford to send me to college. And the recruiter, Gunnery Sergeant Sullivan, out of Evansville, Indiana, explained to me that if I went into the Marine Corps, I could get the GI Bill and go to college.
The helicopter takes soldiers out of the ship and lands them in a hot spot and another hot spot.
But they never really adequately explained the concept of helicopters to us. So they would take us off the ship and land us in a hot spot somewhere in Vietnam, and then when we got through there might be another hot spot.
In one of these hot spots, Kennedy spent time among the villagers. He got to know them personally. That's how he knew to recognize an enemy soldier in their midst.
And as I started out in Cap 234, went to Cap 235, and then Cap 236. And when I was at Cap 236, on October the 1st, 1969, my career in Vietnam was unceremoniously ended when a gentleman shot me and blew me up. Well, actually blew me up and then shot me. Walked him like this towards him, and eventually he realized that they were getting close. Now, he was already getting hit with shrapnel, and he realized, though, that he was going to have to get out of there, so he jumped up, tried to climb up and get out of there, and when he did, I just stepped up with my rifle and drilled him. And in fact, I have what was in his pocket right over his heart, and you can see where the M16 round went in and where the blood is spattered, and in the background is a rock. It's called the rock pile.
He was sitting on that place and take people out.
As a matter of fact, later on at the rock pile, I was sent up there when I was with 326 as a scout sniper, and they were having a lot of problems with people setting booby traps, and I sat up on that rock pile with a spotter, and my job was to catch people out in the tree lines setting booby traps and taking them out.
U.S. Army taking kids and women into ditches and chewed them.
A lot of things in my life, but the people I worked with in the Marine Corps were by far the most professional people I've ever worked with in my life. And so when we heard about this, I spoke pretty fluent Vietnamese, and I'm getting prisoners to do initial interrogation on and stuff, and they're telling me, and I would have to take them by helicopter back to Hoi An and An Hoa, and they're telling me that the Army is lining kids and women up in these ditches and shooting them. And so I kept taking people back and telling them that back there, but they were like, no, that can't be. Well, it ended up being. And I kept that map, though, because of that. And you can see all the villages of My Lai, and later on it was called the hamlets of My Lai Village.
He was a good leader because he knows how he can save his soldier.
And I was always given maps. I was the guy in every squad that I was in that the squad leader and myself had maps, because I was the one he always chose. The squad leaders always chose to be the point guy, because I could always get us out and get us back without losing a lot of people and everything.